Boarders wake up. The first train I've heard. It's just us to 7.
Alright, now it's day 30, April the 14th. Much better spirits today, had a good sleep. That's the place where we're staying. There's really old antique. There's Dog Whisperer. Again, thank you. But have a look at this, like he's got a,
and this is the dog.
This is his dog. Oh, hello. But it's really nice. And train track here, the only train I heard all night was at 7 AM this morning, so it was a good wake up alarm for me. I've got my tent fixed. Yeah, have a look. Even like that old barn reminds me of the Mover Twister, the type of barn that gets destroyed in that. Going into town now, going to resupply and try and upload these videos. Well, Wally and I are here in Hotsprings. We are just sitting in front of the library uploading 26, 27, 28 and 29 days to YouTube using their free Wi-Fi. It's a beautiful day outside. So looking down that way, that's the main street of Hotsprings. Not a lot to the town. And then tomorrow we'll be heading over the bridge. That gentleman there yesterday helped me out with the phone. Couldn't get reception here, couldn't get on the Dog Whisperer, and today I was able to repay him because he had laundry to do and I had some quarters, so worked out good. Yeah, so we head out that way. There's a nice river. I'm out on a farm about 5 minutes down on the same river. And yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be wet and miserable, but gonna get going. So yeah, me and Wally are just chilling today. I recently had one of the viewers ask what trail magic is. As an example, there's a building over there, just there, that is a church ministry building, and they provide free snacks and food for the hikers. Now it's at their expense. They don't ask anything for it, they don't try and preach to us. We've had breakfasts like that, we had shuttles in Gatlinburg from them. So that's one type of trail magic. Another type is people leave eskies just with thru hikers written on top, and you open up the eskies and there's drinks and things like that. Or in the very special occasions you get people who come out and make you something at their cost, their expense. They don't want anything for it other than to meet the hikers and really support the trail. A lot of them are ex-hikers that have thru hiked in other years or family members of. An example, right at the start I had a guy that came at Woody Gap, I think it was, and he gave us coffee. Now you think a coffee was a small thing, but it was a freezing day. We're sitting on a table, we had chairs there, we did it, and he came an hour and a half from Atlanta just to serve us coffee, and that's all he was doing for the day and then going back. And it really makes you appreciate it. So that's sort of what trail magic is. Got a hiker coming through.
Didn't know if you were photographing. Sorry
no, that's all right, I'm videoing. Yeah, it's a really friendly hiker town, this one. It's just one main street really, but a couple of hostels. There was camping down by the river last night because it was a beautiful night. Looks like it's a biker town as well. There's a lot of guys coming through on bikes and stopping to have something to eat and drink. But yes, the trail magic's like that, and then they have things called trail angels, and they're people who support the hikers, sometimes for free, sometimes for a couple of dollars. So they'll give you, because the trail doesn't always come into town like it does here. Look, if I show you, there's an AT symbol right there. Sometimes it's 10 miles or 16 kilometres from the edge. You can ring these people up and they'll come and grab you. Now I've got a book with a lot of those details in it, but there's also at the trailheads where it reaches the roads, there's signs posted up and just, give me a call if you need any help, blah blah blah. And sometimes it's $1 a mile, sometimes they do it for free, sometimes just a little bit of a tip, and it's really supporting a lot of hikers. It's a very heavy hiking season for about 6 weeks, and a lot of people, and they're used to it, and it's really well supported, the whole hiking season, by people in these towns. Further north I believe it's a little less. Okay, cheers. French Ford River.
Nice pack, brother.
And the tavern where I just had lunch, but I was indoors. Very popular. safety restrictions next to train lines here. The road goes right next to the train line. Yeah, I'm glad the train's not coming now. The road gets a bit close to the tracks. And that's where we're staying, straight in front of us.
Yeah.
Trains are always cool. Wow, this train goes forever. It's about 3 minutes later and it's still going. And I can't see the end in sight. So we're over at the Pavilion. That's the house we're staying in over there. This is a really nice place, nice and peaceful. Got a big ridge behind them. Keeps it quiet. It's only the train tracks going through. Got a little pavilion here with a picnic table. We've got a zip line for the kids. Got a couple of hammocks that they can lie in. He's got a fire pit to relax here at the evening. Got a wood barbecue. And then you've got this magnificent river, the French Broad River. Nice cool breeze coming off it. And tomorrow I'll be hiking up there somewhere. In the rain again, because it says it's raining tomorrow. Time for the Appalachian Trail News Week 4 with Reboot and Wally. So days 22 to 28 went from just before Clingmans, 10 miles before Clingmans, to Max Patch. Day 22 was I was really pushing it that day to try and get to the shuttle. I missed it by 20 minutes. It was freezing cold, it started snowing, and I decided to get in one day early. Day 23 was in Gatlinburg and in Pigeon Forge. I did some videoing from the Johnson Inn, which is where I stayed that night. I found out the next day from a hiker that they actually had a bear running down that street, and the police had to come in and send it out. Day 24 was Dollywood with the roller coasters. Really enjoyed that day. No one was there because it was too cold, and I spent all day at the Dollywood and then on a roller coaster and then in the spa. So a really relaxing day. Day 25, Dog Whisperer and Dusseldorf headed out. I wanted another day at the resort, so I did a slack pack day from Clingmans down to Newfoundland Gap, which is what I missed on day 22 because of the weather. Day 26 I saw my first bear, and luckily it was inside the car, but it did make me think about the bears during that day as I was walking. Did 23.4 miles or close to 38 kilometres. That's by far the biggest day I'd done. Went to a place called Charlie's Bunyan, which is a little outcropping of rocks. Beautiful views from there, and a very friendly squirrel. Yes, Wally, I know. Yes, he made friends with Wally. And I was, by the end of that day, I was very, very tired and slept very well. Funny, when I got to the campsite, the shelter was full, and they have a thing called ridge runners, and they said, well, you're going to have to camp, and you've got to go to the camping area. And when I set up my tent, she told me that last year, exact same spot I put my tent in August, she had her tent ripped to shreds by a bear. So not what I really wanted to hear, but I'd already set up and I was too tired to pull it down. Day 27, Not a lot happened. I only did about 13 miles, but did get some trail magic from Whitney and Wendy. They were out from Minnesota on a holiday, and they just decided one day to come up and help the hikers out at a forestry road, just giving us fruit and chips and things like that, and just talking to the hikers. I went to Mount Camamera, and the views were spectacular. Probably close to the best views I've had. Really nice, and even the tower looked magnificent, sitting on this outcropping of rocks. It looked like a lighthouse. Day 28, hiked up to Max Patch. As I was going through the day, a chopper started flying over the top, and didn't think much of it until I got over one of these mountains, and then I saw these clouds of smoke, and they were on the very next hill, so that got me wanting to rush through the hike a little bit quicker so I could get to Max Patch to see what's going on. As we got up the top there was a fireman up there. I asked him if it was something we needed to be worried about, and he told me it was a controlled burn, so I felt a lot better because it looked like it was pretty close. Not a problem while the wind was going in the one direction, but if there had been a wind change, then that could have been serious. And he also said it was okay to camp up there the night. Beautiful sunset, heaps of people up there. There was 2 wedding groups. One was a bride and groom, and the top half of them were in their what they're going to wear, I gather, on the wedding. Where the bottom half they were dressed in casual, so there must have been a lot of headshots. And then there was another lady who came up and then got up there. They put a big blanket around in a square. She got changed into a wedding dress, come out, and then she was getting all the photos right in front of my view of the sunset. But it was a special day for her, so she didn't know I travelled halfway around the world to get that view. But yeah, but it was good. That night was really, really windy. It tore me tent a little bit, and I ended up getting up at 4 a.m. to start hiking on day 29. Just in costs, so resupply, these are in American, resupply was $41.34, transport costs of $76.45, so there was quite a number of shuttles that cost $20 or $30 getting to and from Klingman's in Newfoundland. I had 4 nights in accommodation, which added up to $161.50, one in a hiker inn and the other 3 in my timeshare, offset a little bit by Dog Whisperer and Dusseldorf staying 2 nights and giving me some cash for that. And so that's not a normal cost, $161.50. I wouldn't normally have that. A hiker wouldn't normally spend that much. Food in town was $160.50. I had lunch at a brewery. I had dinner at the Texas Roadhouse. The next day I had Subway, donuts, pizza. Went out for dinner. The day for Dollywood, I had lunch at the Mill. I got frozen pizza for tea. Day 25 on the slack pack day, I had pizza, a hot chocolate, and McDonald's. Yes, I know, I'm eating well. Day 26 was just the shuttle cost, there was no food. And then there was $90.45 in other, which was Dollywood was 77 American, so about 104 Australian, which is quite dear, but I did want to do that. I needed a day off actually from the trail, and the coaster was $13, so it's pretty much those 2. Yep. So in total, American was $530.24. So overall costs. In American, we're $1,213.46 for the 4 weeks, which in Australian is $1,604.93, and that's about $170 more than I wanted to be. Sorry, I got my sunglasses on and I'm leaning down. I've got the sun shining at me so that you can see me rather than have the camera going that way. Yeah, and part of that cost this week, like $200 at a timeshare, most hikers wouldn't have that cost, so you've got to take that into account. I did do my budget before I booked that timeshare, and that's already been paid for, so it's not as if it's coming out while I've been away. In miles completed, me and Wally have completed 254 miles or 407 kilometres up to day 28, which was Max Patch. and last week we did 65, so it's a little bit less than the last couple of weeks, but we had 2 zeros rather than 1 0, so I did it in one less day. And so far we've done 52 miles, 68 miles, 69 miles and 65 miles, or in kilometres 84, 109, 111 and 104. So the fact that I did it in 5 instead of 6 days says I'm getting stronger. Currently averaging 9 miles or 15 Ks. In weeks to come I'm going to be building up, and by the end of the trip I have to be doing 15 miles average and 24 Ks, so I do have to do some bigger days. But once we get out of the mountains for a little while, I should be able to build some bigger distances. The only thing that concerns me, or 2 things, are the rocks and the heat, because the last couple of days have been really hot. That's it pretty much. So day 28 was at max patch, so I've done day 29, which was a 20-mile day, so a good start to this week, but I've also had a 0 today, so I'm averaging 10 so far this week. Very hot yesterday, good to recoup today. In terms of injuries, I've had a sore right knee 2 days ago. It wasn't so bad yesterday. Go away, Ant. Yeah. And then yesterday, coming down the hill, I felt like a bruised heel on the left side, and we had a lot of down yesterday. So I think during the day I was compensating for it. I was trying not to put pressure on it because I could feel it hurting. And then by the end of the day, my calf muscle on the left side was really tight. I feel good today. Got a little cut on the left little toe. I think that's more from wearing my sandals and the hiking, so I put a band-aid on that. And just the cold has split my some of my fingers at night. Even though I'm wearing gloves when I'm in bed, I am looking forward to some warmer nights. One thing you do notice is the difference from camping at the top of a mountain versus camping at the bottom of the mountain. The difference in temperature is huge at night. And when I'm up at the top of the mountain, even though I think I'm going to get a good night's sleep, I can't sleep. I think it's because of the cold, and the aches and pains seem to be more obvious. And when I come down, it's warmer. I don't feel the aches and pains as much, and I get a good decent sleep. So I'm going to consider that. I won't be camping on the top of a boulder again, not after it ripped me tent. But yeah, just things to consider when you're working out where you're going to stay. Yeah, my next stop is in Irwin in 5 days' time. I've uploaded all my videos. I'll try and upload this one before I leave tomorrow morning in front of the library. And Irwin, I'm hoping possibly to do whitewater rafting on my day off up there. So if I can get in, I think I will. At this time of year the water's pretty cold, and there'll be something different again. So I'm living and loving life. I'm missing you, Savannah and Tash, and all the guys at work. I love the comments and that. I usually just put a like when I read them. It's great support. It's just like the trail magic. Some days you really feel the need to get a lift, and when you see those when you come into town, it really makes you want to get out on the trail again. So again, thanks for the support. See you later. Yeah, Wally says see you too.